Okay. How you going, guys? Yeah, so as you can see here, I've just drawn out the path that I think the sun's going on. It's going down to the lowest point, which is above the North Pole and above Alaska and North America, I should say, or Canada, whatever, and Russia. And the highest part is like around the tip of South Africa, yeah, South Africa, and so I say that it also does this. It spirals in and rises. So its lowest point is a little bit higher and closer into the center, and its highest point is a little higher and closer into the center. And guess its highest point at the equinox, and its lowest point at the other one. And swaps every 6 months. It stops and starts going back in. But also it has to, because of that figure of 8 that it draws in the sky over a year at 12 o'clock every day. If you follow the path, if you know what I'm talking about, if you follow the path of the sun and you record where it is at 12 o'clock every day, it'll make a figure of 8 in the sky. And what I propose is that it has to speed up when it gets to the top of the figure of 8. Because if it doesn't speed up and it just stays the same speed and just starts to come back down to its lowest point in its orbit, as as I'm showing here, if it doesn't speed up, it'll just come back down and make an S shape, if you know what I'm saying. It won't get all the way to the top and then keep going to make a figure of 8 unless it speeds up. If it doesn't speed up, if you understand what I'm saying, it'll backtrack over its path because it's staying the same speed. It's just getting higher and lower. So it has to get higher and lower and get faster and slower. Or else it won't make that figure of 8. And it can be seen, apparently, if you track the sun over the year, you can make that figure of 8 anywhere. And I'd say that if it's a flat surface, or how I say it is, with turned up edge, and the sun isn't that high, and it's rising and lowering on that path, the one at the bottom, where it gets higher and lower, if it excuse me, if it doesn't go faster and slower as it gets to its highest point and starts to come back to the lowest point, if it doesn't go faster and slower, then it won't make a figure of 8. And that's just, it has to make, it makes a figure of 8, so therefore it has to speed up and slow down, and it has to do that, or else it can't make the figure of 8. I don't know how else to explain it, except to say that if it doesn't go faster, it can't make the figure of 8, because the next step in the figure of 8, when it gets to the highest point, is beyond the last point. It carries on to make the figure of 8. But if it doesn't change its speed, it's not going to do that. It's going to come back. It's going to come back to where it was the day before. It has to, because its speed isn't getting any faster or slower. So therefore, it's going to be recorded being in the same position when it's lowering. So it has to go faster if it's going to start lowering and be in front of where it was to continue on to make the figure of eight. Then it starts to slow down, obviously, and swings back and comes back to make to cross over its track, and where the eight crosses, and then it has to follow on and go underneath the bottom, which is it starting to speed up. As it gets to the bottom, it starts to speed up, and then it has to be speeding up there because it has to go back on itself again. So when it gets to the bottom, it speeds up again, and then it starts to get faster and faster until it gets to the crossing point, I'd say, and it starts to slow down, and then it starts to arc back on itself, and and then it continues on, and it has to go faster again when it gets to the top of the figure of eight, and when it gets to the bottom of the figure of eight. So that's just a little bit more explanation of how it is working in my mind. Okay, everybody, I'll catch you later. See ya. God bless. Bye.